How was everyone's E3? Was it everything you expected it to be? Did Daddy Jeff give you Elden Ring? Great, let's talk about that weird Guardians of the Galaxy game. I would say that the current incarnation of the Marvel-based video game started with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series. It has all of the elements that continue through to the one revealed at E3. It's the disconnect between messaging, story, and visual style. Let's take a look at the development process for that 2017 release. When making a game based on IP, you have to work directly with the people who own it. The Friday the 13th devs couldn't continue making new content because there was a lawsuit about who owned the franchise. EA has to work with Lucasfilm to have ideas approved for their microtransaction machines, and Marvel is no different. Luckily, they have a whole division over there headed up by Bill Roseman. He seems to be the face of their video game liaison team, and when talking about the Telltale Guardians game, he says, "We want to give developers freedom to tell their story, and we want to make it an original story." That sounds great. The message to gamers is, here is a brand new thing featuring cool stuff from your favorite developers. But look at this. The story is a little different, but these characters are obviously derived from the movie. Don't give me the comic spiel. Look at this. You got the red jacket, the orange suit. I mean, even the whole vibe with the Walkman and music. Drax is the only one who looks remotely the same to the comics. Let's hear from Bill on my critique. Telltale's Guardians project will feel familiar to people who have seen the movie. There you go. The message of freedom directly colliding with needing characters to act and look very similar to how they do on the big screen. They even went with a voice match for Rocket Raccoon.
Groot's on fire!
This continues infamously with Avengers. Over 2 years before the public would make fun of hockey pad Captain America, we got this abysmal announcement. At least it has 13 million views, and that's the kind of power you get by making a Marvel game. This Crystal Dynamics-led project was exciting. Who wouldn't want to play as the most recognizable characters in pop culture today? Then we arrive at E3 2019. We finally get to see it. Boom! Final Fantasy VII Remake. Wait, no, that's not right. After that, boom! Gameplay from Marvel's Avengers. Well, that's only technically true. This shot is real, but the rest of it was in-game cinematics. All of that didn't stop Bill and the creative director from saying,
"A few years ago, Crystal Dynamics and Marvel began collaborating on an original Avengers game,"
while giving the caveat of,
"You will instantly recognize your favorite superheroes and villains, but you'll also see that they're unique to this game, as this is Crystal's interpretation of these iconic characters."
We kind of just have a repeat. Here are characters that look and feel like their movie counterparts. And we learned that's what people want. After the presentation, we have comments online talking about Big Cap and Odd Face Widow. Players wanted to play as Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. After tweaks, the game looks enough like how you want it to look, making people willing to jump into another live service. Here's a great perspective right after the press conference.
It feels like it desperately does not want to be the MCU and it wants to be its own thing.
Yeah.
But then everything that makes it cool are the MCU elements.
Yeah.
So it's like seeing Iron Man like do the
moves.
The moves. It's like, oh, that's the Tony we know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or like Thor like doing it's all of this stuff is like, oh, that's the exact animation from the movies. But these character designs look weird and the way they're talking doesn't feel like Robert Downey Jr. It doesn't feel like, Chris Evans. Like these characters look like and are acting like they're supposed to be MCU, but they're not, and they're trying to be clear that it's not, and that's where it gets weird.
Let's wrap this up with the latest Guardians of the Galaxy game. Here's the producer giving us what we expect.
For the past few years, we've had the privilege to work on our version of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and reimagine it into a single-player, story-driven, third-person action-adventure game. It's our own fresh take on the Guardians.
More talk about original and yada yada yada. Let's just look at these characters. Yep, that's Star-Lord, with an altered mask and red jacket. Rocket is wearing red instead of orange, but looks even more like the movies than before. And Gamora looks so similar to that one from 2017, just different makeup color. If I put these pictures side by side, you might argue they look different. I see people going to the same well, and making similar decisions to try and differentiate. Let's add color to the hair. The face paint is from the comics, and the skin-tight outfit that unnecessarily emphasizes the boobs, it's all there. Just the vibe, the music choice, and I'm not faulting these companies for doing it. People just want to play as heroes they saw at the movie theater. Too bad, that would be really expensive. So we get this. The only Marvel game that doesn't fall into this trap completely is Marvel's Spider-Man. Before the face swap, this cast looked like real people, not movie stars. Maybe it's the fact that people are used to different versions of Spider-Man. There have been 3 actors on film, the Spider-Verse in the comics. This just feels right. That's probably what separates Marvel games from DC games. There is currently one vision for what Marvel characters are supposed to be. On the flip side, we've had over 6 people play Batman in live action, at least 3 Superman. The whole Elseworlds stories of DC characters lend to the idea of different visions and interpretations. What I'm getting at is that it's a matter of time before I look at a video game and go, oh, that's Black Panther. But I'm not looking at a watered down Ryan Coogler vibe, or the suit from the movie. When that time comes, hopefully audiences are ready for it too.